Hi, and welcome to this week's weekly general reading. So we're going to be looking at the next 7 days ahead. This is timeless, so whenever you watch this, it's the next 7 days, and we're going to be looking at themes, motifs, basically making some predictions and seeing what's in store for you for the next week. Before I begin, I do want to make a couple of announcements. The first one is that because the winter storm prevented me from posting regularly last week, I am going to post a video every day of the week this week, okay? And here's what to expect though, because it's going to be extra special. I am going to be posting my top 5 videos. I'm going to be redoing them, okay? So we're going to get like an updated version of basically the top 5 videos. If you want to know what that schedule is going to look like, go ahead and watch that in the end. And that's where you can find that at the end with the news timestamp. And the other thing that I was going to announce was just that my website is just growing. So if you want to, if you want to look at that, then go ahead and see and check that description. Anyway, don't want to waste your time. Everything you need to know about me is in the description down there, including the timestamps. And let's go ahead and name the piles, okay? So pile number 1 is the pink. Pile number 2 is green. Pile number 3 is purple. Pile number 4 is white. Pile number 5 is red. And pile number 6 is blue. So if you have not picked your pile, go ahead and pause the video. Otherwise, we are going to be starting with pile number 1. Hi, those of you who picked pile number 1, here's your reading. Okay, make a decision. The King of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. Right. You also have the Bouquet, followed by the Paths, and Firm Foundation. Okay. So this week is really going to be about your social life, okay? Social life, maybe your family. We're talking about people, interacting with people. We've got 3 cards coming up that are people cards, so we have but let me explain the energy here. So we've got somebody who's going to be talking to you about their feelings, okay? You might be the kind of person that people just kind of come to talk about their feelings anyway, or you might be the kind of person that does not have that happen very often, so it'll make a big impression on you. Either way, this person has a lot to share, okay? And I do feel like they're going to be male, just because we've got the king rather than the queen. But of course, gender, that can be a tricky thing sometimes. So do understand and allow for that gender fluidity. But it feels masculine. It feels like masculine energy to me. That's why I'm mentioning that. We've got the Page of Cups as well. So you might find that your emotions are kind of running high a little bit harder to regulate, that kind of stuff, a little bit harder for you to express them eloquently, okay? So just be aware that your emotions are running high, and speak from your passions, speak from what you are more like creative passions and things like that, rather than necessarily from your emotions, if you want to kind of override that energy so that you can still be very articulate and all of that kind of good stuff. We also have another person who wants to express their feelings to you, and we even have what feels like feminine energy here, wanting to share creative endeavor with you. So these are all positive people, okay? They're all very helpful people, very good people, and all of that kind of stuff. So do keep that in mind. Just know that you are going to be, this week is going to be a connection week for you, okay? This Firm Foundation, it feels like there's something that you want to, kind of launch this week, or something you want to start, and it might not even be that big, but there's something that you want to start. Make sure that you lay down the ground rules before you kind of take off, and because sometimes we'll get so excited about a new project that we will forget to kind of set down the rules or create that foundation. This can also happen in relationships. You start a new relationship, and before long it just starts starts going so fast and we forget to say, hey, wait a minute, here are some of my boundaries, or let's kind of slow this down and be friends for a little while first, that kind of stuff. Or if you're the kind of person that, that doesn't work, let's just kind of call this what it is, or whatever, but it's just this is about setting boundaries and also laying down the groundwork for some kind of project. Okay. So do understand that, if you're feeling compelled to just kind of, run off with something or someone, be aware that, creating some kind of foundation or rules at the beginning will help immensely. Okay. So the Lenormand, I just decided to pick a different deck. I typically use the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. So the Lenormand I'm using, we've got the Bouquet followed by the Path. So we also have Make a Decision. Okay. So the Paths, it's talking about, the Paths is actually a card that talks about making a decision. Okay. And, what they're telling me, they're not saying what the decision should be, and I don't think that, really it's ethical for me to tell you what you should and shouldn't do anyway. But what it is it's showing that whatever decision you make is going to be beautiful. It's going to be put together very nicely, and the way that a bouquet is, right? And you will have some direction there. And so when we have this advice card is Make a Decision, it also kind of helps us understand that even if you don't know what decision to make, it's better to actually make that decision than to not do anything. Sometimes inaction is basically the worst thing one can do, if they're in a situation that they want to change. Sometimes just taking action of any sort is what ends up changing the dynamics there. Of course, don't do anything just ridiculous. I hope you understand that. But now's the time to make a decision, okay? And so this week, be careful and make a good decision, but make that decision because it's something that's going to be beautiful for you. It's something that's going to bring more beauty into your life. So it might, for some of you guys, this might actually appear like a maybe shallow decision because you're picking what's nicest, that kind of thing. But it's not. I mean, you have good reasons. Go with what you like is what I'm also being told. Okay. That said, I hope you have a wonderful week, regardless of what the cards say. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, I've got that announcement at the end. Thank you. All right. Hi, those of you who picked the green butterfly, here is your reading. We have self-employment, okay, the devil, the lovers, the six of coins. How interesting, we have the snake. So it's interesting because we have the devil and the snake, and they're kind of similar, different reading method. And then we have the lilies. Okay, so let me go ahead and put these over here, and then we have Prosperity Begins. I love this card. So we have a little bit of everything here. Obviously, it's great to get the lovers. Obviously, sometimes it's not so great to get the devil. But what's interesting here for me is that we've got the lovers pictured twice. That was intentional. So I think that that's interesting. So basically what I'm feeling is that this week you're going to be focused most likely in areas of money, vocation, school if you're a student, hobbies if you're retired, that kind of stuff. You're going to be focusing on what you spend most of your time doing to feel like you are contributing in the world, or that you're working towards your goals. Okay. With the lovers and the devil, you've got this partnership with someone. It's most likely a romantic partnership, although it doesn't have to be. That it's like it's going to be going through this roller coaster this week of ups and downs. Okay, it's going to be feeling like a very like push pull type type relationship, one thing that can be said for it is that it's very intense. It's a very intense relationship. Sometimes it feels incredibly blessed and sometimes it feels cursed, okay? But the bottom line is you don't get this kind of energy unless two people really, really care about one another a lot. You can turn this energy into positive energy by really examining any negativity you bring to the table and working on yourself to take that away. And in relationships like this, the other person tends to mirror a lot. It's not just a phenomenon seen in twin flames or soulmates or soul connections. This is something that you see just between people, between humans. And as you bring up the vibration, the energy vibration of that relationship, the person that you're having this stuff with will also bring up the energy. And that's how you can minimize the ups and downs there. And just really be aware of whatever you might be doing to contribute, okay? And I just feel like it's very important for me to also say, if you are in an abusive situation, please get out of it, because this does have the potential of looking kind of like codependent sometimes, when I see these two cards together. So I do want to kind of mention that. That's not going to apply to most of you, okay? It's just an ethical thing for me to say. So prosperity begins. We're talking about a few weeks, months maybe ago, you started some kind of way of investing in your future. This is most likely financial, or through your school or hobbies, that kind of thing. And it's starting to pay off. You're starting to feel more balanced, and I feel like you even feel like you have a lot of wiggle room this month, okay? We do have self-employment, which is kind of related, but I do want to mention with this self-employment is that it's not just about literal self-employment, although this could be a confirmation if you're thinking about becoming self-employed, that would be a good direction for you, okay? But what I feel like this is, it's more about I want to use the word policing, which is kind of a little bit, I'm not comfortable with that word, but that's what I feel like using. It's like self-policing, self-discipline. We're talking about self-regulating and being self-aware, okay? So self-employment is also employing your best self. That is, putting forward your best self, okay? So keep that in mind, that self-employment can also be a reflection of you putting your best foot forward. Of course, that's kind of connected here with this kind of energy, because as you put your best self forward, other people are inspired to be great as well. So we're looking at the snake followed by the lilies, even though I did make the comparison between the devil and the snake, and I think that it should be acknowledged at least. I feel like this message is a separate one. Somebody from your life that has hurt you in the past is going to be revealed that they actually had pure intentions, okay? Maybe they hurt you really bad, but they didn't do it on purpose, or there was some kind of really major misunderstanding there. It's like somebody was labeled. It's almost like somebody was labeled a snake, but in truth, there was some kind of self-deception going on, either with you, deceiving yourself about someone being a negative influence for you, or there was some kind of misunderstanding that really painted the picture of that person in such a negative light that it was really difficult for you to see that they were coming from a good place, right? It's interesting because I've actually had this happen to me recently a couple of times, and just getting into a couple of examples without wasting time. In one case, I was trying to help somebody understand mental illness a little bit better by providing more accurate information than the information that they were passing around. And they saw it as me being maybe trying to start a fight or something like that, when I was just trying to be helpful. And then in another situation, I had asked if someone was I had asked about somebody's sexual orientation, and I had asked a friend. I had asked a mutual friend rather than asking directly. And I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't ask directly. But basically, what happened was the mutual friend thought that it was a very, very weird question. But the reason I was asking is that I have a friend who is homosexual and who is actively looking for somebody to date, who I thought would be a good person to introduce to this other person, right? Because they have some ideas in common, but I wanted to first find out, well, is this person going to be targeted because the friend that I know is, very motivated to find a partner right now. So basically, I was labeled as basically being really slimy, like a really weird person, and it was just a misunderstanding. So it's like that. Those are kinds of examples that I'm talking about. It might not be like a really big, huge example, although it could be, but it's probably something a little bit more like that, a little bit more innocent like that. Okay, but whatever it is, somebody that maybe had come off wrong the first time, or maybe even somebody that gave you a bad first impression for whatever reason, is actually a lot better than you think. Okay? All right, so good reading. Regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a wonderful week. And remember, at the end, I do have some news. So thank you so much for watching. Hi, those of you who picked the purple butterfly, here is your reading. Okay, so we have contemplation time. We have the Hermit, which goes perfectly with contemplation time. And then we have two twos. Okay, we've got the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. Not the swords, wands. The Two of Wands. We have the Home, followed by the Tower. And I just want to mention, I usually use a different Lenormand deck. I just felt like using a different one this time, just so you know. And then we have Choose Wisely. So yeah, I feel like this is a very coherent reading, okay, for you guys this week. Basically, you've been struggling figuring out which way to go. It's kind of like you're being pulled in two directions about some kind of decision or some kind of, and it's something that it's like you... By making a decision, it's really going to affect your life. It's not a small decision, okay? And part of it, just so you know, this card, when it comes up because of the waves here, sometimes I feel like this might be about a long distance relationship. So that's just confirmation for you if you do have a long distance relationship. But that doesn't mean that those of you who don't have one, this doesn't apply to. I just wanted to point that out. In fact, also the waves can symbolize that there's a lot of emotional turmoil in the background as well. And what we've got is this person kind of juggling these two coins, basically trying to weighing which one's more valuable, okay, which side to take, basically. And then in the Two of Wands, we have a person who wants to become more worldly, maybe somebody who wants to travel. Again, that does reference, long distance, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're in a long distance relationship. And we have mountains in the background, so that lets me know that there might be a little bit of blockages there, little obstacles to overcome. I know that, right now we're still going through the COVID-19 pandemic, and travel can be very difficult due to restrictions right now. But regardless, we've got two things. We've got somebody who is sitting in one position and wants to figure out either the best of two options, or whether they want to stay there or if they want to go out, okay? And I feel like right now with the Hermit and this advice card here, you're being counseled to kind of take this week as a time to really think about things. Follow your own inner light, okay? Because only you can make this decision. Yes, it's good to get other people's perspectives in this kind of situation, but I really feel because this is going to be a personal decision for you, okay? And it's going to impact you. That means that you've ultimately got to be the one to make your decision about whether or not you want to do this thing or the other. If you're wondering what this is about, it could be about investing, because we do have pentacles here. It could be about changing jobs, or changing a career, or or maybe ceasing to be in a group, or joining a group, that kind of thing. Or it could be which class to take next year, that kind of stuff. Or it could be about knowledge, acquiring more knowledge, acquiring more inspiration. Or even it could be literally traveling. But basically, this is about getting more perspectives, okay? So that's the kind of area that I would put this in. But if there's something that lit up when I was talking, then that's what it is. Trust your intuition over mine, okay? But basically, it's really time. It's really time to go within, to find that inner light, basically, to show you the way so you can get that direction. Because of course we've got a star here, and the Hermit's lantern there, and the stars will give you direction, right? They're used as navigation devices. So that's something to keep in mind. And then, of course, no pressure, but choose wisely, right? Really, you're going to know you're choosing wisely because you're choosing what's best for you. You're not choosing what's best for somebody else or what other people want you to do or whatever, that kind of stuff. If you are feeling right now a lot of pressure to be a certain way and you're really wanting to go on your own path, then you pretty much already know what the choice is going to be, all right? Just know that if you do choose the one where maybe you've been feeling more pressure, or maybe you feel like it's less selfish or for whatever reason, just know that it's going to be a lot more difficult and it's going to be impacting your life in a way where you might have regrets or resentment there, okay? And I just want to kind of guard you against that. And then we have the home and the tower. And I just think that this is a really beautiful example of how, it's being told, again, we're talking about your inner circle. We're talking about coming into that place where you feel secure, going into your cave, the way the hermit might, and going into your cave, going within. And then the tower, sometimes that means isolation, okay? It can mean that, we've got to be by ourselves for a little bit. Those of you who are extroverts, I'm sorry, but it's just going to be an introverted week. At least that's what the cards are saying. So everything's kind of all lining up. I do feel that it's important to mention that when you have the home combined with the tower, that can sometimes mean working from home, okay, or bringing your work home with you, okay? So kind of keep in mind, because that might be a different way of interpreting it that might apply for some of you. And in some ways, the tower can represent organizations like a church or a school or a government building, something like that. So it would mean that, something inside of you is being affected by some kind of organization, or maybe your decision is about some kind of organization like that, okay? But I think for about 70 to 80% of you, it's going to just be restating what the Hermit card's saying, restating what this is saying with contemplation time, okay? This looks like a very peaceful week to me, but then again, I'm the kind of person that loves to contemplate. Regardless of what the cards say, I hope that you have a wonderful week. And remember, I have news at the end. If you want to check that out, there's a timestamp. Thank you so much for watching. Hi, those of you who picked the white butterfly, here's your reading. So we have friendship, we have the King of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the King of Wands. Wow. We got another reading from this that also had 3 court cards in it. Basically 3 people. Okay, and then we have the Rider followed by the Bear. And then we have Disruption. Okay, all right. So this isn't the most positive reading. I'm just going to say that up front, but don't worry. You'll be able to get through this. Just understand, one of the keys to this is being really aware of who you can confide in, who your tribe is, basically, who your friends and family are, even if they're not blood family, basically, that kind of thing. basically making certain that you are giving those people attention. Okay. It feels like somebody might be a little hurtful and unsupportive of you this week. Okay. I'm getting a lot of masculine energy, obviously, but it could be a woman still. But whatever's happening is that this person, they might come across as maybe trying to criticize or control you, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to be helpful, and it's coming around across as being more pushy, and they're trying to show how important it is that you do whatever it is that they're expressing, because they're afraid. Okay, so understand where that person's coming from. They're coming from a place of fear, and they're coming from a place of really actually wanting to protect you. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have your best interests in mind. It might be all about themselves. They might be thinking about themselves when they made a weird decision or they did something, and they're trying to prevent you from happening it by you doing that again, by basically rewriting their own story through you, that kind of thing. And in that way, it actually might be apparent. Okay. But regardless, it feels really almost oppressive to me. Okay, so just keep that in mind, and keep in mind that you do have some strength against this. I put the two kings together just because it was bothering me that they were separated. Anyway, the Page of Wands comes up as you're going to just be feeling kind of in over your head, and kind of like, even though you know what you want, and you know what you want to do, it's almost like you might be feeling like your emotions aren't as validated, or they're not as important to someone as they actually are, or that what you want isn't as important as what the other person wants. Okay. I do feel like this is going to only be lasting for about a week, though. Okay. And I mean, I know we're doing the week ahead and all of that, but sometimes I get energy from these readings that feels like it's going to last more than a week, and I always say that. So I just want to mention that it does not feel long lasting. It feels like maybe somebody's in your life is very, very cranky, basically. And so just kind of keep that in mind. Keep in mind that they're coming from fear and that kind of stuff. Okay. We also have a message. We have a message from somebody. Again, this is a very people-y week, okay? We have a message from somebody who might be this is a more feminine figure, somebody who helps you get in touch with your spirituality, with your emotions and that kind of thing. And you're going to be getting this message quickly. So like at the very beginning of the week, you're going to be getting a message from someone. In some cases, the bear can represent someone who you feel is protective of you, or somebody who you, or even a boss. Okay. It does have very mother-in-law like energy to it, but I don't feel like that's accurate for this group. But I do want to mention it to just so I'm very transparent about these cards. But it's like a quick message from someone who either wants to protect you, or somebody who wants to help you on your spiritual or emotional awareness journey. This could even be like a therapist. Okay. So pay attention to that, and it's going to come across completely different than the energy from this. It's a completely different person. And then we do have disruption. One thing that is good about disruption is that when you get shook up, you're kind of forced to look at yourself and look at your life and make decisions that will help improve that. Okay, setting those intentions and working towards your goals so that you can build a more peaceful life for yourself. Okay. But growth always comes with a little bit of pain. You're going to get some growing pains. And so I feel like that what's going on right now here is that you're coming into your power, in an area of your life here. And some people are not going to take that as seriously as you would like them to this week. But you've got to go through that. And it's almost like you're going to get a point later on to say, I told you so. If you're the kind of person that loves to say that, then you're going to be really excited, later on. But it's basically like, you're basically proving yourself. Okay. I do want to mention you don't have to prove yourself to anyone but yourself, okay? But in this particular relationship, you're going to be able to prove yourself and show that you actually do know what you're talking about, or do know what you're doing, that kind of thing. All right. So keep that in mind. Keep your friends very, very close this week, because I really feel like that's where you're getting a lot of relief from. And if you don't have a whole lot of friends, or if you feel like you don't have a lot of people you can talk to, there are many communities online that you can connect with people through, and really just talking to someone can sometimes help, so keep that in mind as well. So regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful week, and remember, I do have those announcements to make, so and that's in the timestamp. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hi, those of you who picked the red butterfly, here is your reading. So we have faith. We have the 7 of Swords. We've got the moon and the sun. Wow. Okay. And then we have the garden, followed by the ring, and then we have the universe. Wow, 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 wow. This is a very, very positive reading. Something that's been hidden from you that might seem like double dealing, or it might seem like somebody had deceived you, something that was hidden is going to come to light. Okay, that's the first thing that I'm seeing about this. But I'm also seeing it as like 3 separate things. Okay, I'm also seeing that you are going to be in a situation this week, or situations this week, where you're going to be feeling a little bit more playful and a little bit more kind of giddy. Make sure that if you're making some jokes and everything, make sure people don't take it, that you're, I guess, speaking. Be aware of your audience, okay? Because sometimes we can accidentally hurt people with our jokes, and we don't mean to, because they might not get that it's a joke or something like that. And that's basically the energy that I'm getting with this. With the moon, I see you wanting to kind of hold back a little bit more, so that you can be more certain about that energy you put out. And I feel like this is both creative energy and emotional energy that you're going to be holding back on. I also feel like there's some kind of intuitive it's almost like there's an intuitive itch to be more private this week, okay? So keep that in mind. Sometimes the moon comes up when we are going through a period of time where it's more difficult to sleep. So if you're having more issues getting to sleep this week, just try to pick up here and there when you can. Maybe try to go to bed a little bit earlier. Just whatever you can do to help regulate yourself there. And also don't worry. It feels like it's just confined to this week. It does not feel like it's going to keep going. We do have just amazing success, amazing happiness, amazing just carefree energy that kind of, which is coloring the interpretation of this 7 of Swords card. I just feel like you're gonna be having such a great week. I feel like the things that, like things are just gonna be kind of opening up before you. You're gonna be able to be successful, and you're gonna be able to find a lot of moments of happiness this week. Okay, so it feels so good to even give this reading. It feels good. We also have the universe, which is this deck's equivalent of the world. Now, of course, we're going to be reading it from this deck's perspective, which is basically showing that it's like divine timing is all right. We're talking about this is an opportunity. Like this week, you're going to have that energy where you can really get what you want out of situations. So take advantage of that. And it feels just very abundant. It's like the universe is just putting forth all of this happiness and abundance and joy into your life. We also have faith. This tends to come up a lot when we get cards that indicate that there's some kind of divine purpose going around, or there's some kind of aspect of fate, or divine timing that's governing our path. If you aren't experiencing this at the very beginning of the week, that's okay. You're counseled to have faith. This is your advice card. So just know that the universe is going to provide for you, okay? Understand that this is not a universe of lack. This is a universe of endless possibilities. And you are due right now for some really positive experiences, okay? Another thing is that we have some kind of public union. Obviously, this could be a wedding, but I don't feel like that's what it is for most of you. It's like a public union, so this might be a document that's a public document that's binding, you know? It could be that you're partnering up with somebody, or that you're gonna like do some public speaking, but with somebody else. Like if you're on YouTube, you might be having a guest speaker, or maybe you're going to be a guest speaker on somebody else's YouTube channel. But it's basically like a contract that affects basically how you interact with the public or how you interact with the extroverted world, okay? So kind of keep that in mind. Obviously the ring, especially when it comes up with those love cards like the heart or the bouquet, you know, we want it to mean marriage. We want it to mean something really beautiful like that. But typically it's really just about, you know, making something official, okay? So something's going to be happening this week that's going to be official. I don't know why I get told to say certain things sometimes, but I'm getting one of those weird Cassie moments where I'm being told to mention to you guys that this could also, I feel like this is just disrespectful, okay? But this could also mean somebody in public who's very fat, who's very overweight, and this is going to make a very, very deep impression on you. Seriously, I recognize how crazy that is. I understand, but you know what? Here, there's no crazy. There's just plain talking intuition, and that's what they're telling me to say. So whatever that is, you know, you can ignore it if you want. I wish I could. Anyway, regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, I do have some announcements at the end. You can look at that by the timestamp for news. All right. Hi, those of you who picked the blue butterfly, here is your reading. So we have triumphant success. That's great. We have the book followed by the tree. Okay. We have Make a Wish, and the Page of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, and the Page of Swords. Okay, this is kind of fun. This is going to be a fun week. At least that's the way it feels. So I'm using a different Lenormand than I usually use. But just so you know, the book is depicted as music in this particular deck. I think that that's kind of nice. I've noticed that the book has been coming up a lot in these weekly general readings. And so if you've gotten the book recently, like in the past couple of weeks, this is just a continuation of that message. But basically a secret is being, you know, some kind of, you're gaining more knowledge, you're gaining more wisdom, knowledge that's been kind of locked away for a while, or maybe even knowledge that is almost like a divine secret, that kind of stuff is coming to light. And this continuation is all like, not only are you finding out those secrets, but you're also really letting them sink in, okay? The tree can sometimes represent the brain. So this is talking about, and then the brain can also represent the mind, right? Consciousness. So this is talking about how you're not only acquiring knowledge, but you're also turning that knowledge into wisdom by really reflecting on that and thinking about it. So that's great, you know, that's where spiritual growth is. When you have triumphant success and the Wheel of Fortune, we're just talking the timing is right for just about anything. So it's a great time to take advantage of that. You're going to find fortune is on your side this week. Now, sometimes the Wheel of Fortune is not read that way, but that's what I'm getting in context with all the other cards. So I just wanted to say that so that those of you who those of you who also read understand that I'm reading from an intuitive perspective as well. But yeah, the divine timing is right. Understand that just right now is a really good time for you to make some bold moves and all of that. And don't worry about it if it comes out a little bit sloppy at first. You know, you're not going to be perfect. Like if you're trying new things, for example, you're not going to be perfect at it when you first start out. Don't be too hard on yourself as far as that stuff goes, okay? But understand that you also have a lot to offer the world. You have some kind of gift that you can offer the world this week, and it's almost like you're being called to use that. It probably has something to do with communication, so I would imagine that you are probably you probably have an artist type streak to you, writing, music, any kind of creative endeavor, that kind of thing. It could really be anything. It doesn't have to be in the art world, but that's the kind of thing that I'm getting, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. With the Page of Swords, especially with the clouds in the background, which can represent emotions, I'm just kind of getting also that there's like some kind of communication about how you're feeling, okay, that is connected to this gift, okay? And that's another reason why I'm like thinking about art and poetry, and writing and that kind of stuff, okay? It's just self-expression. This could also be just a reminder to express yourself in a very authentic way, even if it comes out kind of awkward, okay? And the reason I'm mentioning awkwardness is that we've got 2 pages. The pages can kind of show people at the beginning of mastering something, okay? So the good news is that you are becoming more masterful of things in your life, but it's also kind of more that you're an initiate or you're at the beginning of that, okay? So that's why I keep mentioning that. But yes, it just, the timing is great. You're going to be very successful. You might have some breakthrough ideas, or some really life-changing ideas even this week. If you don't have enough time to pursue those, I would really encourage writing them down, just because some of the ideas that you're going to come up with might seem like they're coming out of nowhere. And it's important to pay attention to those, because I feel like you are being almost divinely led into sharing this kind of gift with the world, okay? We also have Make a Wish. So I want to read this. This is a magical moment. Make a wish and enjoy its manifestation. That's really pretty. It does have rose-colored glasses on it, right? But it's also, it's also about manifesting. And so is a Page of Pentacles, okay? We're talking about bringing things to earth in the real world. You can fantasize about them all you want. You can think about them all you want. But, actually doing these things is what ends up bringing that into the real world. Of course, life can't ever be as perfect, quote unquote, as our idealized fantasies can be. But I just feel like you're going to be able to manifest just about whatever you want this week, okay? So do keep that in mind. The divine timing's very, very right. Sometimes it's not, okay? Sometimes the Wheel of Fortune comes up like this, Sometimes it's not. Sometimes the Wheel of Fortune represents something else. But for you guys this week, it represents it's very, very good timing for just about anything, okay? So things that haven't felt really synced up are going to start syncing up for you. All right, guys. Regardless of what the cards say, I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, I do have the announcements at the end of the video. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of my video. First off, I just want to say we're building this really, really great community. I love it. And I have started a Discord channel. It's a Discord server. I'm still getting used to the lingo, okay, for the channel. And for the rest of the week, I'm going to be posting the Discord invite, okay? But I'm only going to be posting it for a week. So if you want to get in that server, go ahead and follow that link. If you'd like to start meeting some like-minded people, some of the people that are here, I'll be there. My partner will be there, and we can start really building the community and really sharing with one another. I think that's a really great thing. Also, I mentioned at the very beginning of the video that I'm going to be releasing new content that is going to be a repeat of my top 5 videos. Basically, the subjects of my top 5 videos on this channel, these were really successful videos that I'm assuming that a lot of people really, really want to know the answers to. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be taking them, and every day I'm going to be doing a new video that is answering that question, okay? So for Tuesday, we will find out, this is tomorrow, we will find out, will they make a move or should I? Okay, Wednesday will be, do they fantasize about me? Okay, Thursday will be, what are their true feelings? Friday will be, will we end up together? And Saturday will be, do they feel the same about me as I feel about them? And remember, every single day that I post a video, which is going to be every day this week, I will also include that Discord link. The invitation, I think is what it's called, so you guys can get into the community. All right. In the future, I'll be posting that to certain groups, you know, but for now, I just basically want an open invitation for everybody. And then I also just wanted to say that winter storm really hit us hard. We're in the south of the United States, and you know, our state does not have a whole lot of equipment to deal with the kind of snow that we get in the northern part of the United States, or basically if you're not in the United States, because I know there are a lot of people from all over the world that watch. You know, if you're used to snowy weather and all of that kind of stuff, just know that we aren't down in the south here. And as a result, we did not have reliable internet. We didn't have reliable electricity, and we didn't have reliable water for like a week, and it just became impossible to get my private readings done as well as getting a video up every day. I apologize, but I'm making up for it this week, and I'm really excited about it too. Also wanted to say, hey, you know, check out my site. It's, you know, I've switched sites to a new site, and I still have a lot of openings for bookings this week if you would like to book a private reading with me, of course. And again, just thank you. I love the community that we're building. I look forward to speaking with you more and building some relationships on Discord. And if you you know, are new and you don't typically, you know, watch this, understand I put out content every week. So if you would like to subscribe, if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe so you can continue getting that kind of content, or hit the like button to let other people know that what I'm putting out is quality. All right. And again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow with, will they make a move or should I? Thank you.